Well, today we're going to do a nice little drawing where we recap a few things, like using our XYZ coordinates, putting it down, finding an edge view, and then we bring in a few new ideas as well. All right, so we have a little lamina, all right, which is just a small shape, pictured like a set square, which is ABC, 3 points. And these are my XYZ coordinates. So first of all, let's go ahead and draw these guys in and get that bit sorted out. Now, if you're doing your XYZ coordinates, usually you can kind of just pick a random point there for 0. So I'm going to 0 there. And I have this point 35 here for A. I'm going to, because there's only 3 of them, I'll measure them all out together. 65 for B and 110 for C. So that is the X coordinates, the Y, and the Z. All right. So 65, I'll get you there. And 110. Now, just a small tip, sometimes it's no harm to write these out, just so you don't get them all confused. Okay, now A is up like this, so we have Y in that direction, X in this direction, and Z in that direction. So we're going to go up by 35 here. Actually, what can work nicely is even just set it here so it's at 60. So there is, draw the line, there is A down by 60, and up 35 is fairly easy to add 35 to 60, and we get 95. So that's A, the elevation, that's A in the plan. Label them. Okay, B is going to be 65 across and just up 10, down 10. That's fine, we'll just pick any nice point there. There we have it. Okay, that's B, and that's B. And finally C is going to be up 45. All right, we'll just, can work nicely sometimes is using the 10 here. Okay, it's very easy to go 45 and down 35, and that brings us to 65. And of course, if that was annoying, you just reset to 0. Okay, so there's C and there's C. Now this kind of stuff should be fairly happy revision for you. Just going to check we're all on camera, and we'll go in and draw our lamina. Nice heavy lines. We'll get rid of that set square out of the way. So you'll see quite a few questions presented this way. They're actually quite easy to do because there's no weird figuring out of strange dimensions. You just go ahead and put them all in. You're going to see how that's framed on camera. That's quite nice. I'm going to move up just a tiny bit for you. Okay, now we need to see an edge view. So I'm just going to slow down for a little second and think of how do we see an edge view. So if we look at something like this, okay, this is going to be a lamina. If I look along any edge, okay, if I look along this edge here, so I'll bring it around on camera, then the whole thing becomes an edge view. All of that is just a line, okay? These 2 points line up, I'm left with just 2 points, and 2 points is a line. Now, that's fine for that. But however, what if we looked along any line on it? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil here, all right, and we just hold this along kind of a random line, and let's move around, and you see if we line this pencil up, the rest of it also becomes an edge view. So once we look along any line on a surface, it'll be an edge view. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to do this with an auxiliary elevation, okay? You can do an auxiliary plan too. I just happen to prefer auxiliary elevations. So here's the thing to think about. So let's say we take our little friend's skeleton, okay? And we are having skeleton here. You're seeing the plan view for Mr. Skeleton. And as you can imagine, this little pencil here, not being a spear to shoot him in the heart, is actually the way you're looking to see the elevation, where you'd of course see the front of the skeleton. Now an auxiliary elevation, stand up straight skeleton, we're just moving this around. We're looking in maybe this way, okay? Eventually you'll get to an end view over here, where you see him on the side, just like that. But an auxiliary elevation, we might see him this way. Okay, so we'll see a view sort of like that. But the key thing is, this pencil is horizontal. It's only a first auxiliary view. We haven't brought in any other tweaks or movements on it. Okay, so we need to know we're looking horizontally. Now, what I need to solve is what does this direction look like in plan? First of all, I need to make sure I'm horizontal. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a horizontal line. And remember, it didn't matter where the line is. It could be anywhere on this one. But of course, the easiest place to do it is from a known point like A. So now I'm going to find a new point D. I know where A is, so all I need to do is project down and find D. Now D is on line BC. Remember, this is the kind of thing we would use in intersection of solids. So we just send it straight down and we'll find D. Now, there's D. If I'd picked a random line somewhere else, I just have had to project another point down. It's not a big deal, but we don't like to make work when we have it. We don't have to. So here we go. So that is the same line. Okay? This is a level line. All right, so I know that that line in reality is horizontal. That's the direction it goes. And if I looked along that line, I would see this is an edge view. So let's look along it. Remember, for an auxiliary elevation, we will see the direction we're looking here. And out we go. And this is kind of our big new concept. And you see, if you've done geologic geometry, this is exactly what we do in geologic geometry. Okay, if you haven't, good news is we're going to use this again at some point. So let's just pop this in here. I'll put it in close enough so I have a bit of space. So there is my x1, y1, always label that. Okay, point A is somewhere along this line, so just extend it out a little bit. I'm expecting to see a line. Let's see what we see. Now, in this case, of course, I'm reaching for my compass out of pure habit because it's really handy to transfer them. But when we have our x, y, z coordinates, I know the distances here. These are the y distances. All right. So actually, sometimes this is handy just to measure them in. All right. So that is A. Let's get the other guys in there. C is going to go up a little bit above A. I can see it's 45. So just project a bit higher. And B is a bit less. All right, so C is 45. Coming from there. And B is 10. Come from my coordinates. And you see it's 10 there and it's 45 there. That's looking pretty good. Let's see how it all lines up. There we go. About a millimeter error, a small little bit on it. Okay, which is probably slightly to do with the angle of this. But there we go, there is our edge view. All right, so that's step one, done. Edge view. Now, the nice thing about an edge view is, while it's rather boring on its own, it does give you the option to do a whole load of other things. Okay, if that was an edge view of a line of intersection, we could look along it and see a dihedral. But this is a much simpler problem. And all we know is that we're looking along a triangular lamina like that. Okay. However, if I look perpendicular to that edge, I'm going to see my true shape. And that's what we're going to do here. So we'll just do this out here. So we are going to look just like this. Just line that up carefully now. So I'm going to look perpendicular to the edge. All right, and we'll just bring this out, and you'll notice that the x2, y2 is going to be perpendicular, is going to be parallel to that. So we'll just push it up here out of the way. Make sure I don't go off camera. So that's x2, y2. Again, that's perpendicular to the way I'm looking, and that's perpendicular to that. So I will look perpendicular to the edge to see my true shape. Now, this is going to get pretty big, so I'm going to put a datum in. And the handiest way to do that is to put the datum in at C. Do that in orange. Okay, that's my datum. Or measuring line, you'll sometimes see it called. So that means that C is there. C is on the line. And the other distance is going to come from here. So let me get my projections in here first, and then we'll put that in place. A is going to be up there. and B is going to be going that way. So how far? I'll just show you on B because it's going to get a bit messy on A, but this distance here, from the datum to the point in plan, is what comes across. Now I don't know that one, so that's a compass copying job. There we go. There we are. That's B. And you can see A is going to be a fair bit bigger. Same concept. A is up there. Are we off camera? I think we're managed. So we just extend that out. We'll find exactly where it is. That's A. And let's connect the dots. They want the true shape. We're going to show them the little triangle. So this is true shape. So not a really hard drawing, and we're only here 11 minutes on it, and I've gone nice and slow. We'll make sure you know your spatial coordinates. This concept of using a level line is quite crucial. Okay, and we're going to use that a lot in different parts of questions. Okay, so that's the level line. Remember, you can use any line. I just chose the one from A because it makes life a tiny bit easier. We look along the level line here, allows us to get an auxiliary elevation. Okay, that shows me an edge view. If I look perpendicular to my edge view, I get a true shape. Okay, so a whole lot of little basic skills into place. Happy Fridays.